But new media is very different. The control now has left just the privileged few, and now it's open to everyone. Whereas the traditional media over here would allow you to, would create the content from a group of people, just a segmented group of people. In the new media, anybody can create any content and distribute it any way. And the real difference between old media and new media is that, again, old media is one way, but new media is multiple ways. And it's not just you to your consumer and your consumer back to you, but it's you to your consumer to the friend, to another friend, back to you. And this giant maze of community evolves around this new media. So the messages flow in many different directions. Anyone can create the content, and that content can be distributed in video, audio, written out, text, or pictorial. The sky's the limit. Is everyone with me so far? Okay. Is that cake making its way through? Okay, I want to make sure. So, since this interaction from consumer or from business to consumer follows multiple paths, what's the result? Well, the result is that from a marketing standpoint, you as a marketer basically now have the world in your hands. And you can market as an individual person. You have the same power that what all of those privileged few people had years ago. You have the ability to create the content around your message and around your marketing message that unlike in any way that you had before. But what does this all mean? And in fact, let me just say this. Not only can you do this, but in the online universe, you can literally, your message can zip from one side of the universe to the other just like that. It's that quick. So what does all of this really mean for you? I mean, as a marketing director, particularly, what does it mean for you at 10:07 on Tuesday next week? Or 2:47 on Thursday afternoon or tomorrow? What does all of this new media and all of these things have to do with the fact that you're going to end up tomorrow at your desk as a marketing director thinking, I've got the responsibility of the brand of this credit union to brand this credit union to the world? What does it mean? Well, let me show you this. What if you had the ability to deliver your message 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? That'd be pretty awesome, wouldn't it? Not to just people who are okay about your message, but people who actually want your message. Well, in order to do that, you would need to own something. You would need to own your own broadcast network, your own broadcasting company. Now, I want you to think that, I don't want you to think about what is today. I want you to think about what could be. Get out of the what is my job and what's it look like and what do I do? Let's get out of the what is and let's get into the what could be. What could it be like if you owned your own broadcast company? What if, like I said, a marketing director had the ability on this broadcast media company to communicate a message 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to a group of people who passionately want that message? And what if all of those people who we just described became, again, the megaphone or the mouthpiece for you to reach other people? Well, today what I want to do is, in shifting your focus away from what is to what could be, I want to show you something and articulate it in a way that you've probably not seen before. What I want to do is I want to help you build your own broadcast company. And being in the radio business for my entire career, I understand about what it takes as far as creating a company, a broadcast company, and you can do that right now. But it's going to take an investment of into four things. You're going to need 4 media to build into your broadcast company. In fact, I call them the pillars, the 4 pillars of your broadcast company. And those 4 pillars are, the first one is stationary media. The second is social media. The third is search media. And the fourth is just the holy grail of it all. And if you can get this one, you've got it. It's sanctioned media. So what I want to do is I want to develop those 4 media outlets for you. Now, it's easy when you take a look at this to kind of figure out what each one of these does. The stationary media is very good at communicating information. Social media is very good at what I would call the interrelating. The search media is the interconnecting. And again, the sanctioned media is that ability to receive an invitation from someone that says, I want more of what you have to offer. So as we look at this and as we try to develop these 4 strategies, or these 4 pillars, what I want to do is I want to go back and I want to take the broad view of all of these. And I'm not so much after you understanding how to tweet and how to do a Facebook status update. We're not interested in that because you can find that information on Google just as quickly as I could. What I want to do is help you build your broadcast media company. So let's do this first. Let's take a look at this stationary media. Okay? If we use the metaphor of the online world, it's really not a world, it's the online universe. And the online universe is vast. It very much mirrors the physical universe that we have, and the fact that we can never know everything, that we can never get to all parts of it. But in this universe, internet universe, what you have a responsibility to do as a marketer is to what? Go find your piece of property and put your brick and mortar, quote unquote, up in this online universe. Just like you have a physical brick and mortar in the offline world that you go to work every day, in the online universe, you have a responsibility to lay claim to a portion of that universe and to put up your brick and mortar. Does anybody have an idea what the brick and mortar would be in the online universe?
Website.
Absolutely. It's your website. And websites are great, except if I were a betting person, I would imagine that most of the websites that are represented would be very stationary in the sense that you can't get the content out. I want you to think of your website when you've created it. You've found your little corner of the universe, but more than likely, wherever you've put your website up, it's kind of off the major path. It's not by the major arteries that flow through where people are just going through. Tons of traffic is going through. You're probably out of the way. And let me describe that for you. How many websites do you visit typically for your pleasure? How many? 4, 5? You probably don't go more than that. And did you know the 80-20 rule applies to that? You're spending probably 80% of your online time with 20% of the websites you visit. So if you go to 5 websites, and those are your 5 favorite websites, one of those websites is probably getting 80% of the time. It's probably Facebook. But it's getting 80% of your online time. Now, let's be honest. Is there any business out there that's going to crack the top 5 in most people? Probably not. I mean, let me ask you a real secret here. Is the website that your business represents one of your top 5? Yes. Yes, we got that on film. Everyone said yes. So everyone's good in here. Except Christy Brooks, she didn't. So okay, she did say yes for the record. So in essence, what we have is we've created these pretty little websites, our pretty little mansions that we've created that are just phenomenal, that have all kinds of content in them, and we've stuck them way out in the universe where no one sees them. That is stationary media. Now, you do have to have stationary media because you do have people that want to come by. And I will tell you this, that in stationary media, nowadays, when we're talking about your website, you have the ability to socialize that website more, to get interaction. And if that's not a part of your website strategy, it needs to be. You need to have the ability to link for people to see their post on your website, their status updates that are being made on Facebook. To have your Twitter linked in with that. To have the ability to do whatever to socialize so there can be some interaction. Now here's something fun that I did, is that you can go back and you can look at the history of the internet and look at companies and see their progression over the years of what their websites look like. Now, so I thought this would be pretty cool. I'd like to go back to our company's first website. So I went back to 1996, and I remember this day. I remember the day that our website finally got on, and that I actually saw the letters KXOJ on someone else's computer back in 1996. And to see the fact that we were able to put red letters and white on a black background, it was just awesome. Well, nowadays, this is kind of what our site would look like as we travel back or forward in time. And you can see that it looks a lot different, right? There's a lot of socialization in that. You can see here the Facebook and the Twitter. You see the ability to download a free app so that you can listen to the station on your phone. You can listen to the station live right now. All those things. So it made me wonder, I wonder what some of the other major brands looked like. So I thought, who would be one we could go back and look at that really would have had things on the ball? Well, how about Microsoft? Well, what did theirs look like back in 1996? Well, you can see it's had a lot to do with information. And I don't know about you, but I'm really not excited to see what's new in Microsoft Publisher 97. So how does it look now? Well, now, look how clean it is and how simple it is. And it basically comes along and they say, we're here for you. Want a free trial? How about a free download? And you can see what's happened. Even in stationary media, you have the ability to make it less about you and more about your customer. So one more, I went to Toyota. And this has to be the absolute worst website I've ever seen in my life. This is the front page, 1996 Toyota website. Now, it's got a lot of text on it, but I'm going to read the first paragraph. You're not supposed to do that when you're speaking. You're never really supposed to read. But it so just drives the point home, I got to read it to you. Okay? So 1996, let's travel back in time and look at Toyota. Wow, isn't that compelling? As the year draws to a close, we'd like to thank our visitors for making at Toyota. What? Who says at Toyota? Who says, where's your website? Well, it's at KXOJ. No, I don't mean where do you have it? I mean, where is it online? I mean, who says that anymore? But at Toyota, one of the hottest automotive sites on the web. As you regulars know, this is the place to find info about Toyota in America. But there's more here than great new vehicles. We're growing by the day. So please come back often to see what we're up to. In the meantime, pretty soon by now, you're what? Bored to tears. So Toyota, as you can imagine, has it all figured out. And they give you want to buy a car? Put your zip code in and we'll make it easy. And so what you see here is in this online universe of stationary media, you've got your place in there. But the problem is, even when you try to socialize and do them as best you can, a lot of people aren't going to come visit it. So here's what you have to do. You have to go to your website and you have to say this. Website, we're packing up. I want you to get all your content together and I want you to put it in a backpack and we're hitting the road. And when you do that and you take your content and you go hit the road, you get in to the second pillar of your broadcast company, which is social media.